Yes, Rooted Rising God family, another powerful day. Blessings to all of you. Hope you are in good health and just feeling abundant today. Y'all, McKeon Lightona, this fast has been the most difficult of my Just Juice January, Just Juice July's because usually I'm a little bit more disciplined, but I will say I'm proud of myself for just the encouragement in terms of not being down on myself. When I first started, I was what they consider a vegan Nazi. It's like you and many of y'all have heard, if it ain't plant based, get it out my face. It's like if you ain't vegan, you heathen. Yeah. Um. So now it's just been a different mode. Really learning more about food, about different people and their needs, their body types. I first want to just say being plant based, it probably is not for everyone. You are your best doctor. You know what is best for your body because ultimately, if you are studying yourself, if you are doing the science of you, that knowledge yourself, you're going to know based on your vibration how you're radiating, how you're resonating with certain things. And it also has a lot to do with genetics. A lot of people like to put this one size fits all on everybody, but different ethnicities, we mutate based on environment, we mutate based on things that we're going into our body. So our coding is just a little bit different, and everybody's coding is a little bit different. I mean, all of us have different irises, we all have different fingerprints. So the fact that we should take a one size fits all approach with our health, I don't think is necessarily the case. You can prescribe somebody something, whether it be allopathic or natural. You can prescribe them something and it can save somebody's life and be detrimental for another person. So at Ageless Living, our goal is to really get to the nucleus of what is going on with that individual, that person. Like, let's get to the center of what is triggering the dis-ease within oneself. And a lot of that we can test based on just switching certain habits, whether it's sleep patterns, whether it's intoxications from drugs and alcohol, or even just being around certain people who are speaking down on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times when I'm in class with the children, it's really trying to encourage and empower them, because I'm sure a lot of these children are in environments where their parents are talking down on them because their parents have a lack of self-worth. And the biggest thing for adults is that we can't take these things personally, because other people will behave based on how they treat themselves and how they've been treated. They'll be holding on to a lot of traumas. But when you are healing, and when you're healing from your traumas or have healed from many of your traumas, then it's important for us to have that cognizance and awareness inside of ourselves that certain people behave certain ways based on their experiences. Certain people eat certain things based on their experiences, whether it be helpful or harmful. So, I think the biggest thing is to have grace with people. That's, I think, the sign of a very healthy person, to be able to not go overboard in terms of trying to get people to be who you want them to be, as opposed to just allowing them to live and experience certain things and learn from those experiences. Now, I'm not saying you take the passive approach and lay down and say, me, I gotta make this person beat all over me and talk to me any type of way. Nah, but it's just about having a certain level of maturity in how you deal with those situations. So, first and foremost, I just want to say, how is your rising? And I'm not obviously it's rhetorical. It's for you to think about, because when we think about how we even get up in the daytime, right? When that sun rises, how you rising every day? That sun rise strong. That sun never be rising like, well, there might be clouds in the sky, but it usually rises up and it's like, boom, I'm here. And it's like, what is the process? What is the cycle that gets us to that point, to where we're our most illuminated selves, right? How can we avoid the storm clouds and certain eclipses? And of course, some days it's going to happen, And that's why I don't necessarily like looking at things like on a year-to-year basis or week-to-week or month-to-month or even day-to-day. I like to look at it moment to moment, because every moment you have the opportunity to make a change. And a lot of times we act like as if next week or tomorrow is promised. Man, the next second ain't promised. People be dropping out like this. And the reason is because we don't take time to be in the moment. And not to say that death wouldn't happen if we were living more in the moment, but if we were more conscious and cognizant of the things that we were doing in the moment, then, we probably live longer and more prosperous and happier. Because even when we talk about death, it's not just about the fact of like, okay, I'm hitting the grave. It's even being conscious in this body, but feeling like I'm not going to be active. I'm going to almost separate myself from activity and my passions and my dreams, my goals, my desires, the things that I really want to accomplish and achieve in this life. To me, that's death, when you're not tapping into your fullest self, your fullest potential, and you are living in a dead mentality. That's why I think even the idea of ageless living is so beautiful, because it's a continuation. It's an infinity sign where everything is just in a constant flow, as opposed to stagnation. And when things are in flow, you're usually a little bit more connected with not only your dreams and your passion and your goals, but your body is also in flow. Think of your circulatory system. Think of your respiratory system. All of that is flow. Your lymphatic system. These things work and operate together, So if you have stagnation in one area of your life, you may have stagnation in others. Maybe your digestive system, maybe you clogged up, maybe you got to release some pipes, which is why fasting and detoxing is so important. And, of course, like one thing that I have learned this month is you have to listen to your body on a deep, profound level. As somebody who fasts a lot, as someone who detoxes a lot, I realize that there's certain things that I do need to put in my body in order to sustain a certain level of energy. And that's not to say, oh, I can't do the 40 days or 50 days, whatever. I just have to be cognizant of what I'm doing. For example, if I'm like performing in a production where we're rehearsing 8 hours a day, that's going to be different than if I was at home just producing music, So it's a certain level of energy, and also connecting with our cognizance and not being in situations where it's like, oh my gosh, I feel dizzy, And there is a hump when you're fasting. There is like almost this the speed bump in a way, where it's like after you get over the hump, it is smooth sailing. It's interesting how the body will just realize what's going on and say, oh, okay, well, we not doing this activity that we so used to doing. And then your sleep improves, your dream state, it's like crazy. The visualizations and just everything that comes together, it's such a beautiful thing. Not to say that people who don't eat, or people who do eat animal products, they don't dream. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I personally have never seen more vivid imagery in my dreams, in my dream state, until I started fasting. And even when I went plant-based, but it was more to the juice fast. There was something about the flows of the ideas and the consciousness, and it begs the question, in terms of just overall health, right? Because I think some people, they definitely have taken fasting to a level where it has been detrimental. Where do we find that balance, and how do we know? And once again, I go back to listening to the body, and the body is married with the spirit. So listen to your spirit, and it will guide you, it will tell you. But I want y'all to definitely think about joining me the last 4 or 5 days of this month. I want to do a detox, and in this detox, we're gonna do our usual thing where we have our Zoom classes, do roots activation, we get the recipes and whatnot. And then I also want us to New York City, gotta love it. I also want us to be in in a support group setting, it's usually really great for not only everybody, but even me, just to feel like, all right, well, we have a goal. This community has a goal. And even picking certain days out of the week to fast. So if you're not already in the Ageless Living community, you can go to the Discord or the Telegram, and I'll leave the links in I guess the description, wherever you're looking at it. And yeah, let's make that happen, all right? But yes, think about how you're rising. I just want to close out by saying, you know, when you rise up, the first things you put in your body are so crucial, and it's so essential to how you're going to progress the rest of the day and even going into your slumber. So when we do rise, I like to take a deep breath for gratitude. I love to give thanks, you know, before I pick up any technology, before I even just fly out of bed, you know, give your body a moment to give thanks. Something that we like to do as well are our rising pages, the rooted writing pages, right? Where it's like, you know, whatever's on your conscious, even if it was a dream you had, and it helps to keep a book like that. And I don't like to think about it as a dream journal, because I just, you know, write the first things that come to my mind. Sometimes they're songs, sometimes they are dreams, sometimes they're just random thoughts with, you know, different new ideas. Sometimes they're things that I want to accomplish for that day. But I definitely encourage y'all to do that. Before you put anything in your mouth, before you digest, or I should say intake anything, you want to make sure that you clean out the bacteria in your mouth. And there's a few ways to do that. You know, you can definitely, I would invest in a tongue scraper. So they are made of all types of different materials, but, you know, I would say get the copper. The copper, of course, is a conductor of energy. And so just energetically, I feel like having that copper, and then also something that you can really see if it needs to be cleaned. It's a great way to just start the day, get that fauna off your tongue that carries so much bacteria that once you eat or drink, you're literally putting it back in your body after your body was trying to expel it during, you know, your slumber. You also want to make sure, you know, that you are you know, that you wash your mouth out. So if that's with water, great. You know, ideally, if you're using a rinse, you should want to find something that's natural and organic. There's this really cool app. It's called Yuka, or my brother calls it Yuka, and Yuka, and you can scan different products, and it will tell you, you know, the different things that are in it, and what these chemicals, whether they are good or bad, what possible side effects they have. And then after that, you know, the first meal, this break fast, the most important meal of the day, definitely be conscious and aware that, you know, we want to continue the elimination process. The body is still processing that food from yesterday. So it's best to have some warm liquid, or, you know, some coconut water. The best thing, coconut water with some key lime. Yeah, you could get the lemon too with the warm water, or the tea. My tea's around here somewhere. Oh, here it go. So in here, I got Buddha's hand. Shout out to Jazz Power, by the way. I got Buddha's hand. I got mint, lemon, and some warm spring water, and that's it, you know. So it's always great to start the day off like that. And then if you are eating anything, eat some fruit. You know what I'm saying? Especially the way I learned it, and the way I applied it, is actually using the circadian rhythm. So when we use the circadian rhythm, that's our biological clock, and it's also connected to the earth and the heavens, because just like the sun rises and sets and the moon comes and all of these things, our body operates with nature in in a very symbiotic fashion, right? Where, you know, all of our cells are interacting and reacting to light, and that is affecting our digestive system, that is affecting our urinary system, that's affecting every system of the body. So it's important for us to really be in tune with the circadian rhythm. And basically, when we're eating on the circadian rhythm, it's almost like an intermittent fast, where we're trying to eat in a certain period of time. So after 12 p.m. and no later than 8 p.m. So that window of time. For me, I like to narrow it. I like to push it to about, even 2 o'clock. And, when I do eat, nothing after 7 for me. On an ideal day, right? On an optimal health day. I just realized that keeping my eating in those windows, it gives me space to do other things. If you think about it, right, sometimes it takes an hour to prepare food, or even if you're ordering food, you take time to order that food, you're waiting 45 minutes, so that means you're blocking off a certain time to say, okay, I'm waiting for my food. If you go out to eat, I'm waiting for my food. Think about the time it takes to wait for that food and eat it, and then you multiply it by 3, and then it's like, eating is taking up most of our time. And it's also slowing down, based on what we're eating, of course, it's also slowing down our energetic output. So I definitely want y'all to, just think about these ideas that I, just wanted to share with you today. And also, once again, when you're rising, like really activate, really open the body, really move, stretch, flex, be crazy in your own room, be crazy in general, you feel me? Crazy ain't a bad thing, it's just, balance. we want that stillness, but we also want to express. We're here to express, we're here to explore, we're here to experience. You feel me? Express, explore, experience the beauty of life. Ashe. So with that being said, God family, thank y'all for tuning in. If you like what you heard, if you loved what you heard, how about you go share this video, give me a little thumb up thing, and stay blessed, stay rooted. I love you so much. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Peace.